Hello, hi Mark. Hi Shane. Just waiting to make sure that everybody is at their computers so I can start. Hi, Oma. I hope I pronounced your name right. Um, I think there's a few more who are going to join us as we go along, including some of my fund managers who will be with us soon. Who had time to watch the video today? Did anyone watch the video I posted in the Slack group today? Or did anyone see any of it? Not yet. Well, this morning I did some early morning analysis at 6:30 a.m. and pretty much all the analysis played out perfectly. I mean, it played out like clockwork. Looking at the charts, we gave a buy signal right down here on GBP USD, and the market gave us, I mean, this will mean more to you once you learn what it's about, but it gave us 53 pips. Which was a really good trade. We also had a buy signal on AUD USD, also produced profits. I believe we had USD CHF that was being analyzed to sell this currency on a 15-minute chart. Right here when we got this nice pin candle, we were in and we were short. That means we were selling this currency. So we do only on Monday only, we do early morning analysis. On Monday only, we're going to look at the markets together. We're going to analyze them together, and basically in the evening time, in the weekdays, we'll do some evening time analysis. For example, tonight we're going to do some analysis against tomorrow. So anybody who wants to know what they should be looking at tomorrow, we're going to look at that tonight. For those of you who don't have MetaTrader, we're going to look at getting that set up for you as well. Now let me get this thing full screen here. We got some people in the Slack group asking if the meeting has started. Can somebody be so kind as to just type in the chat group? Yes, it has. Meeting has started. Please join. Thank you so much. Now, today we're going to be looking at a brief introduction to the Forex market. It's not really going to be that much about the FX market as much as it is going to be about um, how you, I should find a way to get these Slack notifications off my screen during webinars, but it's going to be more about how you approach the markets, how you think about the markets. It's going to be heavily psychological, what we're going to talk about. You'll be so shocked how many people can't sleep at night just because they have a trade in the market. Yes, there is a desktop app for Slack. Somebody's asking me. Yes, there is a desktop app. You just go on the Slack website and download Slack for desktop. But make sure you also have it on your phone because you may be out and about when I'm sending a signal or a trade or whatever. And so it's important that you have it on both. Now, we're going to be talking about a brief introduction to the Forex market. And I just want to go straight to the point. We have 1 hour session, and then we're going to do a 20-minute analysis against tomorrow's market conditions to look at what we have. So introduction to the Forex market. Things we're going to cover today we're going to look at how to win in the Forex market. I hope you're all interested in not just trading, but actually winning and making money. The other thing we're going to look at is what is the Forex market, who are the major players, and how should we think of ourselves with regards to the Forex market? What are the rules for success or the rules of engagement in the FX market? Now, I don't know if any of you have ever seen this. Some of you have already been taught by me some of the basics of the market. Some of you may not have seen this yet, but has anyone seen this yet? Type to me. Don't worry about those who can't get in right now. We're just going to focus on this session now. So once. Okay, I hope you all have your notepads and pens with you. I hope you all have your notepads and pens with you. Very important that you do. But ESBI is the business quadrant. Don't worry, Mark. We're just gonna have to leave him because we started, and now it's popping up on my recording. ESBI is the business quadrant, and it is it's the way that it's helped me guide my psychology with regards to the market and how I think about myself and how I position myself. Most people now, right, draw this diagram if you got pens and papers. Most people begin their journey in life as employees. In fact, we're raised in life to be employees. We're taught to go to school, get a job, go to school, get to university, graduate, get a job, a well-paying job with great benefits. Once we get the great benefits, then get a mortgage, get married, and the circle of life goes on. And we're told, maybe if you're really lucky, you retire at 30, but if not, you retire at 70. I think they're pushing it up to now. And it's just really a miserable existence. Um, and I mean, I don't dog anybody who wants to be an employee. I think employment is important, but I think it's a starting place. I don't think it's necessarily where anybody should end unless that's where they want to be. Money from employment should be used to pay your future. Finances that you get from employment should not be eaten. Basically, what I mean by that is there should not be more month than money. Do you understand what I'm saying? There should not be more month at the end of, you got more month than you have money. You should be thriving, not just surviving. And so I want to show you how to be smart with money. It's important that I make sure that you are aware that trading Forex and CFDs carries risk, and you are liable to lose all of your investment in the trading markets. That's a legal requirement that I mentioned that. And while I'm not a qualified financial advisor, I have done quite well for myself financially, and so I think even there's people who have qualifications who are broke, and then there are people who have experience who can show you what to do with their experience. Okay, and so you're not bound to anything I say. It's your choice on whether you want to take it on board or not. But most of us begin life as employees. That's what the E stands for, and we don't really move on from there. But for some will say, well, I want to be free, so they'll move to the next level, which is sole trader. And a sole trader, or S stands for self-employed or sole trader. A sole trader is not somebody who necessarily owns a business. A sole trader is somebody who owns a job. Let's face it. Sally the hairdresser doesn't really own a business, because if she's ill, the business is ill. If she has a day off, the business has a day off. Hence the term self-employed. This itself comes with a psychology. You see, the employee works for people. The self-employed person works for himself. So each of these people have something or someone working for them. Employee works to build somebody else's dream. The self-employed works to build his own dream. And that's not a bad place to be, but again, I think it's a bad place to stay. Then you've got the business owner, and I'm sure many of you want to be business owners. Business owners neither work for people, nor do they work for themselves. They have people working to build their dream. And then after that, you have an investor. Who's the investor? The investor is my favorite person. It's who I am as a person. The investor is somebody who has money working for him. And that's a great place to be, because the difference between the investor and the business owner is that with the business owner, if you've got people working for you, people come with their own unique bill of problems. And from uh, being ill, not showing up, laziness, wanting to take the Michael on lunch breaks, not really showing up for work, or even things like maternity cover and all the legislation they put out there to squeeze small businesses now. Um, uh, these are the issues associated with people. Money doesn't have that. Money doesn't have a day off. Money doesn't get ill. Money doesn't need maternity cover. It doesn't need national insurance. In fact, for many investors, especially those in the Forex market, in the spread betting market, we call it, even taxes are not a requirement on those who trade Forex. Specifically, Forex is what I'm talking about, the spot market. Okay. Now, there's a psychology of people who belong to this side of the quadrant. They have a way of thinking about them. I'm going to see if this thing's going to work for me. Let's just see. Okay, so the psychology of people on this side of the quadrant is security. People who live right here, they want to feel secure. This is why they like somebody determining for them when they wake up, when they go to sleep, what time they eat, because there's a psychology of people who live here. It's security. They want to feel safe. And then there's a psychology of people who live on this side of the quadrant, where I live. Freedom. People who live on this side, their psychological motivation is for freedom. The issue is this. If you want freedom, somebody tell me, if you want freedom, what do you have to sacrifice? Anybody. Security, exactly. But if you want security, what do you have to sacrifice? I'm waiting. Freedom, exactly. And this is the exchange that has to take place. This is what you now have to start thinking about. Mark, freedom in Scottish, yes. If you want to be free financially, you have to let go of that that need to be secure. And the difference, this thin line over here that looks so thin, the gulf that I call it, the difference, the middleman, the decider between you living on one side of this quadrant versus you living on the other side of this quadrant is this word here, risk. What is your appetite for risk? What is your appetite for risk? I didn't even know you can call on Slack. Anyway, so what is your appetite for risk? That is the difference between those who live on one side of the quadrant versus those who live on another. Somebody do me a favor, please. I'm sorry about this. Maybe from now on I'm going to mute the group once we're in. But someone please do me a favor and just write in the group to Agatha that you don't call the Slack app to get in, that you need to go to the general group and click on the link for GoToMeeting. Please, somebody just write that to her. But don't backwards and forwards. But so ESBI is the key here. We want to be free. We need to sacrifice our need to be secure. So I hope we got some freedom fighters here. I hope so. No, anybody want to be actually free? I hope we've got some of those who actually want to. Yes, good. I hope we got some of those who actually want to be free. So this is it comes with the psychology. And can I tell you something about freedom as well? Living on this side here of the quadrant, living on the side of the quadrant where you want freedom, it's going to take you being your own boss. It's going to take you being self-motivated. It's going to take you being self-determined. It's going to take a no-quit policy. It's going to take a no-return policy. That means if you're going to live on this side of the quadrant, you're not here to try this thing. You're here to get the job done. Are you with me? I hope everybody's with me. You are actually, in days of Roman Empire, when you wanted to go conquer new land and new territory, the emperor would determine that you burnt your ship once you got to the other side. You had to burn your whole ship. And the reason why you did that was you decided there was a no return policy. That means I'm not going back. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep pressing in until I see success or breakthrough in this area. Okay, so no trying here. There's nobody here to try. If you're here to try, give up now, because it means you're going to turn it into a hobby. You're here to do. You're here to be financially free, to live the kind of life you always wanted. Am I correct or am I correct? I hope I'm correct. Good, good, good. So one of the things that you're going to first have to define, the strongest thing that you're going to have to define is this. You're going to have to define why. You're going to have to get this in right down in your soul, right down in your gut. Why are you doing this? And I want you to write this down, because I'm going to ask many of you next time we meet, next time we schedule a meeting online, I'm going to ask many of you this question. Why are you doing this? Why are you getting involved in the Forex business? I want you to list your top 3 reasons for why. What are your top 3 reasons? And let me tell you something about these three reasons. They have to be 2 things. They have to be clear and compelling. By clear, I mean it has to be measurable. So when you achieve it, I know it's done. You know, it has to be measurable. It might be you want to put your children through private school. It might be that you want to live in a 6-bedroom house instead of living in a 1-bedroom apartment. It might be that you want to drive a Bentley. I don't care what it is. If it compels you, by compelling, it needs to have 2 components to be compelling. It either needs to displease you or it needs to delight you. Do you understand what I'm saying? It either needs to be something that irritates you, like not being able to stand being poor, not having enough money. It needs to be something that irritates you or something that delights you. And the most powerful one of the two, is going to be delight. Most people define what they want by what they don't want. I don't want to be poor. I don't want to be broke. And you end up living by fear instead of faith. I want you to define what you want clearly. You might think this is mumbo jumbo. I came to learn about the Forex industry. Why is he teaching me this? Let me tell you something. That what's going to keep you through the school of hard knocks, because this is going to be a Forex training boot camp, and what's going to keep you going, what's going to keep you pressing in and becoming successful is the reason why you got involved in this business in the first place. Now, I'll say this. Millionaires are made by great ideas. If you have a great idea or you have some kind of invention or you win the lottery, you can become a millionaire. But if you want to enter the realm of billionaire kind of success, which for some of us, we haven't even been able to measure that level of success. But if you wanted to reach that level, if that's your real desire, there are only 2 industries that are known for making billionaires on a continual basis. I'm not talking about the occasional Steve Jobs or Bill Gates. I'm talking about the financial industry and real estate. 2 great industries for becoming super rich or mega wealthy is the financial industry and real estate. And so I'm really going to focus on teaching you the financial industry. Your reason why has got to be clear and compelling. Think about it. What kind of car do you want to drive? What kind of house do you want to live in? What wakes you up in the morning? What excites you, what displeases you? These are the questions I want you to ask yourself till next Monday, because next Monday is going to be our next live webinar. This week also we may do an advanced webinar for some of you who are a bit more advanced or a bit more along the way in Forex trading. We'll be doing both beginner and advanced training as we go along, but we'll label the different videos advanced and beginner, okay? And then my final thing, put in front of you a picture of what you've always wanted in your future. Put it in front of you in a place that you can see it. What do you want in your future? Put it on your phone, on the desktop of your computer. What do you want? Put the picture in front of you. You're like a sat nav. Set the destination and your mind is going to chart the course. It's so important. I can't stress it. Your reason for why. Then I want you to create a financial freedom plan. Okay, and I'm going to discuss this with you next week to make sure everybody's done it. If it's not done, then you're not allowed in next week's webinar. And you might think that's harsh. We're committed to your success. So I hope you're equally committed to your success as well. At the end of the day, we don't want to take your money and run. We want to actually see successful people. That's our greatest advertisement as a business, that our traders become successful traders, that they make money. Yes, please email this in. Email it into admin@basilicainvest.com. That's admin@basilicainvest.com. So define the game in a way you can win. Define the game, or if you don't want to email it, do it as a Word document, send it to the Slack group. Just upload it to Slack. Get Slack on your desktop and paste it into the Slack group. So define the game in a way that you can win. There are 3 levels of definition that you're going to define for yourself. 3 levels. Most people don't become rich because they don't set financial goals. And there are going to be 3 levels of financial goal that you're going to set for yourself. Financial goal number 1 is financial security. What do you want to be making on a monthly basis? What do you want to be making on a monthly basis to be financially secure? That's on a monthly basis. Um, Now, financial security is defined as having enough to cover your costs and basic entertainment. Okay, so this is what I want you to think about. Having enough to cover your costs and basic entertainment. So that can be um, any figure depending on who you are. You know, for somebody that figure may be $1 grand a month. For somebody else, that may be $5 grand a month. But please don't set the figure so high that it's not achievable. I want achievable figures so when you reach them, we know they're hit. What would it take for you to be making from your trading business to feel financially secure? Is that 1,005, 2,000 a month, 3,000 a month would be nice. Then you're going to find the next level. What would it take? And by the way, these are monthly figures. What would it take for you to feel financially independent? Independence is you work because you want to, not because you have to. So you no longer need to work. At this level, you do not need to work anymore. That might be $5 grand a month. Make it realistic. Please don't put 100,000 a month at this level. Because if you put that, you're going to throw your game off. You want to make sure that this is an achievable goal. Then the next level that you're going to define for yourself is financial freedom. How much would it take for you to how much would you be looking to make on a monthly basis to feel financially free? That means live the life of your dreams. Now that might be 10 grand a month, 50 grand a month. But please write that figure in. Make it realistic so it can be achievable. And by the way, 10 grand, 50 grand a month in the trading industry is realistic depending on your equity, etc., and your dedication to your trade. Has everyone got that? Can I move on? Has everyone got that? Okay. So please write these down. Send them in the group. Send them in the group. Just type up a Word document. Send it in the general area on the Slack app. There's going to be different levels of competency. Good. Yeah, there's going to be different levels of competency in your trading business. In fact, in everything that you're going to do in life, it's brand new. You're going to approach it with different levels of competency. You're going to begin at 4 different levels. Okay, there's going to be for example, when you started riding a bike for the first time, or if you can't ride a bike, when you learn to swim for the first time, or drive a car for the first time, even walking for the first time. You went through these 4 levels, and it's going to be the same thing you're going to go through in the Forex industry. You're going to begin as an unconscious incompetent. Can someone please explain what unconscious incompetent means in few words? I'll give you 30 seconds. Anybody, please take it on. Unconscious incompetent. You don't know, you don't know. I like that definition. Yes. That's a kind way of saying it, you know? Unconscious incompetent means you are unaware of how bad you are at it. You know? You have no idea how bad you are at doing that. Yeah? Good. That's the Ijoma tried the politically correct definition. So you're unconscious incompetent. And we're gonna take you through each of these stages. Some of you are asking questions like, oh my God, I don't understand anything about trading. Is this gonna be good for someone at beginning level? Yes, it will be. And we're also going to explain it to expert level trading. So unconscious incompetente is somebody who's so bad, they just don't know how bad they are. They see people riding bikes and they go, oh, that must be easy. Just get on and pedal. And then they get on and pedal and they fall over and break their leg or something. Then they reach to the next level, conscious incompetent. Can someone tell me what that is? Yeah, you now know how bad you are. Suddenly, yep, you're aware that you suck. Yep, you lose a few trades. You tried and you just lost and lost. You're like, oh my God, what's going on? This is terrible. Why did I get involved in this industry in the first place? Then if you go through the school of hard knocks and you keep on keeping on, you're going to reach this next level called conscious competent. Someone explain that to me. Sorry if you can hear my son screaming in the background. Someone explain to me conscious competent. Yes. So now you're aware, you know, you're no, it's more like you're getting good at it, but it takes a conscious effort to be good. Yeah. It doesn't mean it's not amazing. It just means it actually is actually an effort for you to be good. Like for example, when you started driving a manual car, you started getting good at it. You didn't stall as much anymore, but every time you wanted to change the gears, you had to look down at the gear stick before you changed it and make sure you're on the right pedal. Now you're getting good at it. You are conscious competent. Yeah. Then you reach the final level, unconscious competence. Someone explain that to me. You become what? Someone wrote something I need to, what was that? You become Kweku what? You become Kweku Adoboli and lose billions for UBS. No, unconscious competent means now you become so good at it, it requires no thought anymore. You saw me this morning, if you watch the video in our live analysis, very unconscious, competent analysis. Sometimes I can't even tell you how I know what I know. It takes me a while to think about why I know what I know about the market. You become an unconscious competent. You suddenly just know it's going to go up from this level to this place. It's almost as though it becomes an intuitive skill. You know, like driving the car now, you don't even think about it. Sometimes you don't even know how you got home. You don't even know if you looked left and right before you went round the roundabout. Your brain just becomes so competent at it, it almost begins to block out the entire journey on the way. This is where you want to be in trading. I call this the sweet spot. You hit the sweet spot in trading when finally it does not take an effort anymore to be good at your craft. Okay. Is everyone good with that? Can I move on? Everyone's taking notes there? Cool. This won't take long. We're almost through it. Okay, this is what I call the power triangle of success. Please no one switch off thinking this is Illuminati. It's not. It's just a triangle. No conspiracy theories about Wealth Mentor. So here we have the power triangle of success. In this power triangle, there are habits, beliefs, and results. Now, I'm going to put it to you. Which of these three is the most important? Habits, beliefs, or results? Someone said habits. Someone else said habits. Some of these habits is unconscious. Well, it depends. If you're trying to create them, habits are quite a conscious effort. to create? Well, most of you are saying habits. Habits and beliefs are pretty much the same thing. A belief is a habit. Some people have a habit of believing the wrong thing, right? In fact, what manifests as habits are really a series of beliefs we have about ourselves at a conscious or subconscious level. So they're very much one and the same. Van Joss went deep. Habits are strongholds. Taking it to church. Okay, good. So habits and beliefs and results are very important. One man said, I don't need to be a psychic or anything to know if you're going to be successful. All I need to do is spend one day with you, because the secret to your success is in your daily routine. And this is what we call habits. Okay. If you can develop good habits, if you can develop, let's skip the slide. If you can develop good habits right here, you'll create good beliefs. If you can create good beliefs, you'll get good results. Yeah? If you get good results, you'll have better habits. This is what I want you to do in order to break procrastination off of your life. If there's anything you want to focus on more than anything, it's going to be your habits. What are you doing on a daily basis to ensure that you're going to be successful in the financial markets? Okay? Now let me ask you a question, again, because I like asking questions, I like being interactive. What habits do you believe traders need in order to be successful? Patience. Oh, very true. Discipline and restraint. Discipline, discipline, discipline. Very good. Yeah. Risk management. Some of you have been in my lessons before. You're showing off. Consistent action. Well, if you say consistent action, what kind of consistent action are you talking about? What kind of consistent action? And how long do you plan on spending? How long do you think a trader should spend trading every day? 2 hours? 1 to 2 hours? A trader's day should be done in about 1 hour. Less than that once you become really good. 10 minutes once you become really good. No more than an hour. A trader's job is not a 9 to 5 job. If you're not good at emotion management, a trader should only spend as much time as the analysis. I tend to agree with that. A trader should not spend more than an hour a day. Some traders don't even need to trade every day. Some traders I know of come in and they work once a year. They wait for one trade once a year to set up, and they trade that trade once a year. They release huge amounts of money into the market, and that huge amount could just be 1% of their multi-billion account, and they're done for the year. The thing about traders is traders do a 9 to 5 in emotions if they're not good at managing their emotions. But you should really only spend, I mean, how long did I spend analyzing this morning? It was less than half an hour and I was done. Right? All that needed to be done then was to execute my positions. It was like 10 minutes, really. Thank you, Vandross. It's like 10 minutes. And you saw, because some people have unrealistic expectations of the market. They think, oh my God, I'm going to be in front of the charts all the time. And yeah, that's right. Most of it was explanation, but really and truly, it took just a few seconds. I almost doodled on my page, and I explained a few things, and I told people, this is where the market's going to drop to. This is where we're going to buy from. This is where we're going to sell from. And we saw the day play out like clockwork. Yeah. It should not take more than an hour. If you're spending more than an hour a day trading, something's wrong. you're losing money, you're blowing your account, you're gambling, you're procrastinating, you're overthinking, you're fearful, you're greedy. There's too much emotion at play if you're spending that long in front of the markets. As you become very good, it shouldn't take more than 10 minutes. But can I ask you this? Can you give an hour a day to the markets? I think that's realistic. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, can you make a commitment to yourself? Even if it's not every day, you might choose 3 days a week, but make a commitment to spend time with the markets, okay? Now let's look at the power, oops, let's look at the power triangle. Oh, sorry, we've looked at the power triangle of success. Um, Now, to be successful, you need to give your mind three things. Four things you're gonna give your mind in order to be successful in the forex market. And we're gonna make sure all of this is in the Wealth Mentor package. You guys are getting a great deal for what we're offering. Okay, all of this is gonna be in the Wealth Mentor package. Number one, you need to give your mind a focus. Give your mind a picture of the end. That's what we call vision. Vision is a picture of the end. What does the end result look like? I got pictures on my phone that before I go to sleep, I stare at. These pictures have beautiful swimming pools, beautiful mansions, beautiful cars parked outside. I look at pictures of, I just imagine my family just smiling in this open space and just the future we have helping people and helping the world and all of that. Give your mind a picture of the end. What does the end look like? What does the end result for you look like? The next thing your mind needs is a mentor. Aren't you grateful you're in Wealth Mentor? I hope you are. But someone who's achieved the success you want is a mentor. Give your mind a mentor. Give your mind information. And by the way, you'll see in the group, there's several channels. There should be about 6 channels. And one of the channels is PDFs. So there's reading material I've thrown in there. And one of the channel is full of videos, so there's videos for you to watch as well. And then give your mind finally a goal, a daily routine, or a purpose. You know, sometimes I see people who are depressed, and you know, somebody once said so rightly, depression is not the lack of affection, it's the lack of direction, it's the lack of purpose. Give yourself daily routine. Give yourself purpose. The Forex industry can give you such purpose. You know, you'll think, what is this man talking about? How can the Forex industry give you purpose? Because it puts at your hands the ability to multiply wealth, which itself is a resource that can redeem time. It can buy freedom for you. It can help others. So give yourself the daily routine of practicing in the Forex market. And I'm going to give you plenty to practice. Okay? Habits of successful traders. Some of you have mentioned a few. Let me quickly run through these. Homework club, yes. Treat trading like a business, not a hobby. When I wanted to start trading, I bought myself a brand new desk. I'm not saying you have to do this, but I did. Bought myself a brand new desk, new chair. I stuck a picture on my laptop home screen. I set up my business name. I just called my business Basilica Invest. I treated what I was doing like a business. I wasn't here to try. It wasn't a hobby. I treated it like a business. Second thing is, and we've already looked at this, have a clearly defined why and put the picture of your why in front of you every single day. That means wherever you're trading, there should be pictures on your wall. Cool. Yeah, good. So I'm just reading what someone's saying. So put a picture somewhere that you can see the future you want. Always putting it before you. Never look away from it. Always, it should be where you're trading. My third point is this. Differentiate wealth from riches. Successful traders are wealthy. They may not be rich, but they're wealthy. What do I mean by that? If you come to the market as a poor person, the market will frisk you and rob you all day long. Can I get a witness in this group? I don't know who can witness to that, But if you come to the market broke, you come to the market needing money, you come to the market like, oh my God, um, I hope I can get some money today to pay my bills at the end of the month. Oh boy, if you approach the market broke, you're going to need to trade. And if you need to trade, you're going to lose your money. Never trade because you need money. That's why I suggest to anyone, do not leave your job to start trading. Have your job on the side, have money, have regular income that you're doing. Otherwise, you will become a gambler overnight. And this is something I want to avoid for every single one of you. Make sure you have a good, decent source of income and do trading on the side. Again, this doesn't mean treat trading like a hobby. Treat it like a business. But what it does mean is take your time with it. Okay? Um, and then so differentiate wealth from riches. Wealth, by the way, is happiness, is joy, is friendship, is family. Wealth is gratitude. Yes, these are all things that make us wealthy. Wealth is emotion management, time management. These are all the things that make you wealthy. Your character is your wealth. So approach the market as a wealthy person. Do not approach the market needy. Otherwise, you're going to be dominated by two strong emotions that dominate the gambler: fear and greed. What differentiates the trader from the gambler is you saw how I analyzed today? Was I emotional about my analysis? Was I like, oh my God, but what if the market doesn't reach this level? Oh boy, but what if I lose? Not at all. Very mathematical, very uncalculated, very laissez-faire. Just put it out there. Okay? This is how you need to approach the market. Neutral. Neutral. Can I say something as well? When you win a trade, don't over celebrate. Okay? Don't be going to, don't be popping open the champagne, screaming, I made $1,000 today. Because if you do that, you will be overconfident tomorrow and you'll lose all your money as fast as you made it. Yeah? Remain neutral. Can I tell you when you can celebrate? When you transfer your profits from the broker account to your bank account, then throw yourself a party. Until then, that money still belongs to the market until it's in your bank account. Okay? So approach the market neutral. Ways to develop neutrality. Strong ways to develop neutrality is ensuring you're not stressed. Exercise, jog, go for a run. Do things that make you feel good. So when you approach the market, you're not emotional. These things go without saying, but please do not approach the market if you're high. Sometimes, let me tell you now, I've had students, okay? Don't approach the market if you're drunk. And definitely don't approach the markets if you're upset. If you just broke up with your boyfriend or girlfriend, don't trade. Okay? Drunk in the spirit is fine. So schedule in weekly time to trade. Schedule in time to trade daily. Put it in your schedule. That means set an alarm on your phone. Let your family know this is my trading time. This is the time you trade. Okay? My next point, remind yourself every day why you are here. Do it every day. Look at the pictures. Spend time just staring at your dream wall. Create it. Spend time staring at it. Walk through it in your imagination. This is probably one of my most important rules because I made it up today. Do not trust the market. Okay, and we're going to look at this. This probably underlines our whole philosophy in trading, because the market is moved mainly by market makers who will create a scenario to entice you into a trade early, which is why patience is the name of the game. Just because you see a setup doesn't mean it's your setup. Do not trust the market. Trust your analysis. Okay? We'll get into that once we talk about developing your signature. developing your style of trading. Um, my next point, demo trade until you're confident. Do not open a live account immediately. Demo trade until you're confident. By the way, demo trading doesn't only include creating the right discipline to be successful creating the right strategy. Demo trading means creating the right emotional temperament, the right discipline, so you can be confident when it comes to trading. So it's also about psychology as much as it is about technique. Trading is 90% psychology, 10% of it is technique. You'll find that out when real money's at play. And then my golden rule of trading, by the way, everyone who's been my student knows this rule. It's my golden rule. It's probably the reason for much of my success. Do not approach the market as a trader. Don't come to the market to buy and sell. When you wake up in the morning and you look at your charts, don't come to say, well, what can I buy? What can I sell? Or when you come to your charts in the evening, don't be looking for what can you buy or sell. If no trade appears to you, then don't trade. No trade is a trade. Do not trade if nothing appears to you. Approach the market first as an analyst, and I'm going to spend the next few weeks with some of my guys teaching you how to be and think like an analyst, how to study patterns, how to understand charts. Second, be a risk manager. Let me ask you this. If you've got 5K in your trading account, how much of it should you risk per trade? Good. I want more people to give me their opinion. More people. How much do you think you should risk percent-wise? We're talking in terms of percentage. Somebody said 1%, someone else said 1%, somebody else 2%, 2%. We're getting 1 and 2. Good, good. You should not risk more than 2%. Now let me tell you what the power of risk management is. 2% of 5K is 100. That means in any trade, you should not lose more than $100. That means you should set what we call a stop loss at 2%. If you've got a 5K account, your account cannot draw down in one trade beneath $100. Yes, you should not risk more than what you're comfortable losing. That means you should not have in your you should not have in your trading account more than what you're comfortable with losing. Okay? You have to accept that it's a possibility. Now, I don't want anyone losing or blowing their account. There is no reason to blow your entire account. The only reason people blow their account is because they break this rule here. This is the only reason people blow their account. If you risk 2% per trade and you lost every trade, how many trades would you have before you blew your entire account? If you risked 2% per trade and lost every single trade, how many trades would you have before you blew your entire account? Don't fund your account more than 50 or 100 times. Okay. Somebody give me the answer to this. This is really easy maths. You got there we go, 50 trades. 50 trades and you're out of the game. Now you have to be extremely unlucky to lose 50 times. If you lose 50 times, then you got somebody doing some juju on you. Something's going wrong. Okay? Yeah, it's right. It's right, Vendros. 50 times. If you lost every single trade with 2%, you'd have 50 because 50 times 2 is 100. That's 100%. You would have 50 trades before you blew your entire account. If you risked 1%, how many trades, how many chances would you have if you lost every trade before you blew your whole account? 100. Exactly. This is the power of risk management. But you know what I see some people doing? I see some people risking 10%. How many trades do you have if you risk 10%? You only have 10 trades. No, Vandros, hear the question. The question was, sorry, I lost my page now. The question was, if you traded and lost every trade risking 2%, how many trades would you have before you blew your whole account? It doesn't mean you have to put 50 on at the set at once. That means if you just kept trading every day, 1%, and you kept losing, you'd have, 2%, you'd have 50 trades and your whole account's gone. At 10%, you'll only have 10 trades. Now, do you see how some people blow their accounts? Some people blow their accounts, and then I say, let me show you what happens, especially to beginner level traders. Let me show you exactly what happens that makes them blow their account. Especially, this is the main thing with beginner traders. Okay, so here you are in a trade. Here's your stop loss, okay? And your stop loss, you were real happy. You set it at 2%. That means there's a $100 potential loss on this trade. The market's moving in your favor. You're making money, right? Because it's gone beyond your entry. Here's your stop loss. The market's moving in your favor. Then the market starts to go for your stop loss. What do most traders do? Some inexperienced traders do at the point where they see the market moving towards their stop loss. Somebody tell me what they do. They remove it. They move it. They say, I'm so short, the market's going to come down, so they move the stop loss up. In moving it up, what would begun as 2% risk has now become what, 6%? And then they go, oh no, but I'm so sure the market's going to come down, and the market keeps going up, so they move the stop loss higher. Now, there's 10% loss on the table. Or what other traders do is they lose 2%. Then the next trade, they lose 2%. Then the next trade, they lose 2%. Yeah? Now, they're 6% down. So what do? On the next trade, they risk 10% to try and make back the money they lost. And they lose that trade too. Now they're 16% down. This is the rat race you get involved in once you're trading. So make sure that you're an effective risk manager. Make sure you're an effective risk manager. It's a cold world in these trading streets. Yes, it is. It really is. It's gangster out here. So please be harsh on yourself. Israel often says, do not turn a trade into an investment. You know, once the trade starts going against you, just get out. You've lost. Admit it. Move on. You've only lost 2% of your account. Every trader will have an 8. Yes, every trader will have an 8 loss streak at some point in their life. That means you'll just wake up one day and you'll be losing back to back, eight trades in a row. You're like, I rebuke it. You can rebuke it all day long. Warren Buffett said, even the greatest investor is wrong most of the time. It's not about actually losing. It's about risk to reward. We call this R to R ratio, risk to reward. That means if I'm going to risk $50, the minimum I should make on the trade is $50. That's the minimum. We call that a one-to-one risk to reward. Yeah? But if I'm going to risk $50, I really want to make $100. We call that a 2-to-1 risk to reward because I've made twice as much as I stood to lose. Are you all with me? And so on and so forth. Some of our trades that we took today, some of them did 6-to-1. One of them, I think it was GBP USD, did 10-to-1. Yeah? So this is how you want to be thinking. It's not about the losing trades. It's about risk to reward. What's the gap between your reward versus your risk? This is what you've got to think about. Okay? I don't mind losing trades, but I hate winning trades with poor risk to reward. And I consider one-to-one to be quite poor. Listen, if you're going to buy a Mars bar for 50p, don't sell it for 50p. If you can get away with it, sell it for £10. That's what the Forex market allows you to do. 419. It allows you to buy small positions, leverage them high, and make a good payback on the small positions. So try and let your rewards be large and your losses be limited. Okay? Losses are always limited. Rewards should be large. Andros. Okay, next one. So then once you've been an effective risk manager, then you can finally be a trader. And a trader is simply someone who clicks a button. Okay? Yo, I'm not promoting 419. Okay, we were going to look at some of this today, but we don't have time. Our time is up for this particular segment. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand over. Nigerians probably made Forex. I believe it. I wouldn't doubt it. It's either Jewish people or Nigerians. Either one. We're both the same. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand over to Israel. Israel's going to do some analysis against tomorrow. Jamaicans. Sure. Israel is going to do some analysis against tomorrow. Israel, are you ready? Can I make you presenter? However, you don't appear to have a microphone for some reason. Okay, so should I wait before you sort it out? Does anyone have any questions? Please turn on your mics if you have questions right now. You can ask whatever question you want. We'll give about a minute to questions.
How many days do you think, or would you give, or would you suggest we give to trading? 2 to 3 days, 3 to 4 days, like
Who's this, please? Please identify yourself.
Vandross.
Bedros, hi. So what was your question?
How many days do you think we should give to this? 2 to 3 days, 3 to 4 days. You said
I'll
we
say
could
about 3 days. Monday
three
typically is
days.
not good for trading. I would say Tuesday to Friday is good. I like Fridays for some reason. I think Fridays are great for some reason, just a great day to make money. It's just Friday's probably been my best days in trading. But midweek, Tuesday to Friday, very good. Monday, not so good. I think Wednesday and Thursday are the busiest days in the market. That's when you're going to get highest volatility. But yeah, those days. And then you also want to watch the times you're going to be in the market as well. Especially if you're intraday trading. If you're swing trading, doesn't really matter so much. But if you're an intraday trader, you want to trade within the sessions, and we'll look at that when we get into deeper lessons on what the different sessions are.
And also, just to add on to that, okay, you said we should maybe focus or maybe take 1 hour a day or two, or is
Yeah.
that what you expect at this level, or do you actually expect us to,
See,
spend more
at this
time?
level, I hope you do more than an hour
Okay,
because I want you to perfect analysis.
okay,
So that I don't want you to really perfect trading. I want you to perfect the art of analyzing. And so that, to me, I would spend hours doing that when I began because I just wanted to learn so quick. And it's not going to take you that long to learn how to analyze because you've got us to help you.
okay,
But still, minimum, you should be looking at an hour.
okay. No, that's fine. All right, thanks.
Somebody's asking a question. Is there a quicker way to what? To get MetaTrader? What I suggest you do, go to this website here, hotforex.com. It should be very quick to do. Once you're in the what's going on? Once you're on their website, what is going on with the website? Okay, well that was an epic fail. For some reason, their website seems to be down, and I have no idea why. Is there a quicker way to get MetaTrader? Let me see something. You might want to go on the MetaTrader website. Make sure it's not another broker. Just go on metatrader4.com and then click MetaTrader for Windows. But I found this version to be quite slow. But give it a go. If you have problem with it, let me know. But you can just download the Windows one or the Mac one. Yeah. But you can download it straight from the MetaTrader website. Please make sure that when you're filling in your details to open an account on MetaTrader, don't put real details unless you're doing it with Hot Forex. I recommend that everyone does it with Hot Forex. But please make sure if you're using any other software, don't use real details. Otherwise, your details will be sold on to brokers and they will call you round the clock to sell you their brokerage service, and it gets really annoying after a while. So please use a fake number, fake email, just make it up. Yeah. But I recommend MetaTrader, especially because it'll help you with your transition when you go live. They're a phenomenal broker. Never had problems with losing money, taking out my stops or anything like that. So please try and use the Hot4X website. And they've got a chat to help you, so you can speak to somebody on the chat. Just say you're a beginner and you would like help with their MetaTrader. Now, if that's all the questions, what I'm going to do is hand over to Israel, and then you can, then he will analyze. Where do we download or rewatch? All the videos will be are loaded in the group. You can see them in the channel. They will be on the channel beginner videos. So there's actually a channel on there. There's about 6 different channels. If you're not on all of them, just click and add yourself to the channels. But there's about 6 or 7 different channels, and they will be there on beginner videos. Analysis will be on the student analysis group. And that's it. Why is it saying Israel has left? He's meant to be doing analysis right now and he's disappeared. Israel, are you there? Israel? Israel? Okay, he's there.
I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Good thing you answered. I was about to break into song. Okay.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Let me just make you a presenter. There's about 3 different versions of you. But go for it.
Okay. All right. Can everybody hear me? Just let me know that you can hear me by typing in the group. Excellent. Great stuff. So, great session. Toby, we are putting our hands together for you, although you can hear most of us. Very, very great session on the dynamics, mental dynamics of trading. Now, if you guys can see my chart, just tell me you can see it real quick. Just let me know that you can see it. Excellent. So I just want to reiterate something Toby said. Trading is 10% technique and execution, 90% mentality and mindset. It's a strange world once your money gets into the marketplace. I actually think trading teaches you a lot more about yourself than other than marriage. Trading teaches you a lot more about yourself than almost any endeavor there is, because you find out who you are when you have your money at risk in the marketplace. And that's why it's great to have a solid foundation psychologically. So for those of you who are slightly more advanced traders who have been thinking, oh, well, this is all basic stuff, let's get to the real stuff. This is the real stuff, you know. Please don't skimp on these videos. Go back, watch them, listen to them, make sure that you are getting yourself, or making sure that you're grounding yourself in those principles. Someone says eyes blinded by Mac. Is that my Mac blinding your eyes? Mark, is that my Mac blinding your eyes? Okay, okay. Great stuff. Ignore you. Okay, that's fine. If you insist, I will. Right, so we don't have much time and we want to send you guys home early today. We also want to go home early because we've got to be up early tomorrow for 6:30 in the morning. And for those of you asking what times to trade, very quickly, there's 3 major trading sessions in the financial markets. There is the North American session, which is called the New York session. There is a European session, usually called London. Some people call it Frankfurt. And then there is the Asian session of the Tokyo session. Like Toby said, you shouldn't be sat in front of your chart 24 hours except you are learning and practicing on a demo. And even then, you don't want to overtrade on a demo because it can become addictive. The majority of your time should be spent analyzing and learning, but actual trading should take an hour or less of your time a day. And the times you want to be trading are 1 hour before up until 2 hours after the start of each of these sessions. So you want to be in front of your chart if you want to trade somewhere between, not necessarily the whole 3 hours, but somewhere in between an hour before the session starts or 2 hours after it has started. That's when the magic happens. So for London, London opens at 8 a.m. our time. You want to be at your charts by about 7 a.m. at the latest, at some or somewhere between 7 a.m. and about 10 a.m. That's when the majority of the moves are going to happen in London. Then the same thing for New York. At this point in time, I think with the time zone, New York is roughly around noon. I may be off by an hour, so you want to be in front of your chart. I think it's about 1 p.m., sorry. So you want to be in front of your charts about noon to about 2 p.m. And then for Asia, roughly about 10 o'clock. The time zones vary. So, and now, I'm not sure if Toby covered this in the morning because Monday is my day off. The other stuff I do, like leading a group of churches, means that my weekends are very busy. So I usually like to take Monday to not think about anything business or trading. I don't want to see charts because sometimes I see charts in my sleep. That's how bad it gets, like Toby said, when you start to become unconsciously competent. So Monday is usually my time off. So I wasn't there this Monday. I will be one of most of the other ones going forwards. But when you open up a chart and you look at it, remember we looked at this in a brief session I did last week Friday. So you're asking yourself, remember those 3 questions? If you remember the questions, just type them out real quick, but I'll repeat them for the sake of time. So you want to ask yourself, where's price coming from? Where's price coming from? Where is it going to, and what is it likely to do along the way? Type in yes if you remember those 3 questions. Where's price coming from? Where is it going to? And what is it likely to do along the way? Those are, so just make that a habit. Where's price coming from? Where is it going to? What's it likely to do along the way? The second question you want to ask yourself is, what time frame am I trading? It's very important. For those of you who are going to start to do the intermediate classes from next week, we're going to speak an extra lesson in most weeks for those of you who've already been trading for a while, so you don't have to just sit through all the basics. We're going to be looking at the concept of what price is and the fact that time frames technically don't exist. So price doesn't really see time frames. It doesn't. The price of a pair doesn't know whether it's on a 4-hour or 1 hour or 5 minute. It's just moving based on supply, demand, and all the other factors in play. But you as a trader need to ask yourself, what time frame am I basing my trade on? Because it affects those first 2 questions. Where is it coming from and where is it going to? So where price is coming from on a 1-hour chart is different from a daily chart, different from a weekly, from a monthly, different from a 5 minute. So to make a good informed decision, you want to ask yourself that question so you can target your analysis. Toby analyzed this in the morning. This was a great trade. Based on my analysis, it did a 4-to-1. Look at that, just to show you that what you guys did in the morning, because I saw the analysis was good. So if you take in this trade in the morning and you just sat in till now, you would be roughly 3% up on your account. If you got out roughly about 4 p.m., that's 6 p.m. server time, that's 4 p.m. our time, at the maximum, it would have gotten to about 4-1. Now, on the account, one of the accounts we're managing, that would have been, if we would have risked $835, we would have made almost $3,500. You know, that's how you go from the rat race to financial freedom very, very quickly. I don't know of any other business event that gives you that ability. So let's look at tomorrow real quick. We're going to apply those same questions. When we open every chart, we're going to ask ourselves, where's price coming from? Where's it going to? What's it likely to along the way? So this is the GBP USD pair. This is one of the trophies that we take. So we'll take this picture. Although I personally didn't trade this, I wish I had, looking at what was on offer, but it was a Monday. So let's look at GU. Now, some of you have privately messaged me and said that you are not intraday traders. You like to trade the higher time frame, 1 hour, 4 hour, maybe even the daily. You know, so are we going to cover you in our analysis? Yes, we are. So I'm going to just do 3 pairs very quickly, 3 pairs, and I'm going to show you a trading idea that you can take intraday, one you can take as a scalp, and one you can take as a swing or intra-week or slightly longer term trade of each pair of the same analysis. If you think that's exciting, say yes. Somebody said that account balance though, Lord. Now we're going for a lot more, trust me. That's quite small compared to where we want to get to. So if you think that's a great idea to see how that works, say yes, great. So let us start with now, let me see, where is that pair I was looking at? Yeah, so let's start with Swissy, the USD CHF pair. Now, whatever time frame you are trading, I advise that you incorporate the daily chart into your analysis. Sorry, just ignore all my Fibonacci's and everything. I usually have a slightly cleaner chart and then a chart I mess up with all my different indicators and everything. It helps me stay sane. Toby keeps dissing me about the different colors of my chart. Now, you want to incorporate the daily because even if you're an intraday trader, you want to have an idea roughly what you expect price to do today. Does that make sense? So even as an intraday trader, it helps to understand what you expect price to do that particular day. Of course, if you're a slightly higher frame trader, that's even more important. So normally we would start from the monthly and the weekly, but we don't really have the time, so I'm going to show you some ideas of the daily chart. Now, how many of you remember what we spoke about last week about the market structure break? If you remember about the market structure break, type in yes. Somebody says, no, you don't. Oh, Toby, is that you? What do you mean by no, you don't? Just explain that to me real quick. Okay. Oh, my charts are never clean. Well, clean is relative, true. Clean is relative, yeah, but I think they look nicer than yours anyway. So I want you to, if you haven't done that assignment, please do it. Go onto your chart, whatever time frame you like. If you weren't at the session, please make sure you watch the recording. Whatever time frame you like, because price is a fractal. If you remember, it repeats itself over and over again, depending on how far down into it you drill. And look at it, every single time you see a market structure break, look at what price does. I'll give you an example. For those of you who remember, this is a market structure break here. If you look at this line I've just drawn, and let me get rid of these moving averages as well, because I don't need them for this session. See this line here? As you can see, price went down and then came back up and broke this. So this is a market structure break. There was a high here that was taken out by price, and then it formed a low that was lower than the previous low. That's my rough definition of a market structure break. So price was heading in one direction, it made a reversal, took out the previous high, and established a low higher than the previous low. When you see this on a long-term chart, it is a very powerful signal. It means that you are, for instance, if from this point at which price took out this high here, we had about 21 days of the market going higher. It did make a low in between, but for the next 21 days, if you just bought down here, 21 days later, you would have made 350 pips. Now, we can see something's happened here. If you look at this, price was going low, so price was going high, sorry. It came up here, and then it took out this low here. I'm just going to put this circle there so you understand. This is what Toby means when he says my chart starts to become a bit messy. So once price takes out that low and establishes a lower high from that one, that is a market structure break. So as at weeks ago, once this happened and price starts to go back up, we were looking in our fund team. We were looking at shorts. We were looking at an opportunity for a short. Write this down. To think like a bank, you should be looking to buy. Yeah, short, sorry. Sorry about that, guys. Short means sell. Long means buy. I should have explained that. So when we say a short, we mean we want to sell the market, meaning we're expecting the price to go lower. And when we talk about a buy, it means long, we want to buy the market. It means we're expecting price to go higher. And the beautiful thing about the foreign exchange is you can sell before you buy. You can buy before you sell. To explain that very quickly, what it means to sell before you buy, it means I go and buy that Mars bar Toby keeps talking about, but I don't pay the seller for the Mars bar immediately. Does that make sense? So I tell the seller for the Mars bar, I will pay you in 3 days. Give me the Mars bar on credit. I find some sucker to sell the Mars bar to for double what I bought it. Then I can pay the seller initially and keep my profit. So in the Forex market, you can actually sell a pair before you bought it. It confuses a few people, who don't understand how that works. So to think like a bank, you want to be buying when the market's going down and selling when it's going up. That's how you want to think as a bank, as a trader. So when everybody else is chasing price going up, you want to be looking for an opportunity to go down. And when everybody's chasing price going down, you want to be looking for an opportunity to go up. So for instance, all this while here, where price was doing this, going up here, it went up 300 pips. Now, on a daily chart, if you're trading intraday, you could very easily have gotten very, very profitable longs or buys here. But since we're talking about a daily time frame here, I'm going to assume you're a swing trader for this part of this pair analysis. My advice would have been to just sit through all of this and look for a good opportunity for a short or a sell, because price has made a market structure break. It's tipping its hand to you that it wants to go down. So you are looking for opportunities to sell. If you've ever looked at, we call that Amazon selling. True. Very true about that. Yes. So how many of you have ever looked at a chart and wondered, I don't know what direction to go in. Do I buy or do I sell? If that's you, just to say yes. I'm wondering, do I buy, do I sell? Do I buy, do I sell? And then you say, okay, I'm going to buy. Then you kick the buy button. Then price goes down. Then you say, okay, sell is good. I think sell is the way forward. I'll take that loss. And now I'm going to sell and make my money back. And then the moment you press sell, it goes the other way. One of the ways I like to trade is I like to trade with something called a directional premise. Write that down, directional premise. Some of you have reached out to me on WhatsApp, and I've shared this with you in private in the past. What it means is when I look at a chart, I want to be able to focus in on only one direction and ignore all the other trades going the other way. It's not the only way to trade. You can double dip, but because I'm so busy with my life, I don't want the emotional wreck of sitting down staring at a chart day and night, wondering, do I go longer south or longer short? So I want to be able to look at my chart and look, Vandross, it's called a directional premise. I'm going to type that in so you guys get it. Write that down underneath market structure break as the next principle that I'm teaching you. Directional premise. What it means, a directional premise is informed opinion. Emphasis on opinion. Like Toby says, don't for a second think you exactly know what the market's going to do. It is treacherous. So don't marry your analysis, as we say in our group. Don't marry your analysis. But a directional premise is an informed opinion, not a guess, not a gamble. It's an informed opinion on which way you expect the market to move. And so you are waiting for a trade opportunity in that direction. There's many ways to get a directional premise. You can get a directional premise by fundamental news. If you hear that Brexit has happened, for instance, if you sold the pound 5 minutes after the Brexit was announced and held on for 2 or 3 weeks, you would be very rich by now. So that's an example of a directional premise that was made by fundamental news. You can have a directional premise by your indicators. So when your stochastics oversold, if you are a stochastic trader, that's a directional premise for long or buy. When your MACD gives you a signal for a short, that's a directional premise. My preferred directional premise is what I call higher time frame analysis. Write that down as well. Higher time frame analysis. It means you want to go at least 2 time frames above. Thank you, Toby. I was just going to type it in. Oh, I've already typed it in. 2 time frames above the time frame you want to trade. And ask yourself, on this time frame that is 2 time frames or more above the one I want to trade, what direction is price headed in? So if for instance, if you are an hourly time frame trader and your daily time frame is telling you price is going short, when you see a short setup on the hourly time frame, you can take it with a lot more confidence because the smaller time frame is lining up with the larger time frame. It's like a river. The larger time frame is the direction of the river. You don't want to swim upstream. You may get a short trade in the other direction that's very profitable, but you don't want to be swimming upstream if you can afford it. Somebody type yes if you are still with me, and type no if I've lost you. So you want to try and make sure that the setup you're looking for on your, we call that the execution time frame. God, I was hoping not to bore you with too many different explanations of terms, but it's just coming out of my, my brain. Execution time frame means the time frame you trade. Somebody says they love it. Thank you, Andrew. So your execution time frame is the time frame you're trading. So I'm going to show you this trade. I'm setting up now on an hourly time frame. So my execution time frame is my 1 hour time frame. But I want to go 2 time frames above to be sure that I am in line with the directional premise of the higher time frame. If you can then find some indicators that further confirm that direction on your execution time frame, even better. So based off this, now it's going to look like hindsight in a little bit, but if you look at my chart, about 2 weeks ago, this is where we were on the chart. Now, the moment this happened, I didn't need to see the last week to guess what was going to happen today. I called today a week and a half in advance because not only did price make this market structure break here, it also took out another one here. And when you see this happen on a daily time frame, it's very powerful because it usually is talking about a long-term trend. So the moment price did this, took out this one here, and then took out the second one here, this is telling me that at least I am going to get a short, a very high probability short at some point. Now, as we know, price retrace, we'll talk about that fact that price moves in legs. It doesn't just go down one way forever. It goes up and down, but the direction it's headed in is the direction it's moving in more in that direction than the other direction. So it goes down here, goes up a little bit, then goes down here, goes up a little bit. Today, I was looking for a short. I'm going to put one of our famous boxes. Many of you don't know what these boxes are. Just stick with us. We'll explain them over the next few days. Don't bother your brain about it. You know, you can ask questions in private and I'll take time to explain. But don't think, oh Lord, I'm a neophyte. I don't know what's going on. You'll get it soon. But these are one of our famous boxes that you see on the WhatsApp group. For those of you who know this, this is a demand zone, or what we call a bearish order block. I was waiting for price once it crossed this line here to give me a reversal signal there. Now, remember on Friday we spoke about the fact that you make an informed opinion, you wait for confirmation, then you trade the confirmation. Who remembers that? Type in yes. So remember, write all these things down, although you get them in the recording. You make an informed opinion, you wait for confirmation. You wait. I can't stress how important waiting is. You wait for the market to tip its hand to tell you you were right. Then you trade that opinion based on the confirmation using good technical analysis and also good risk management. So I was waiting for reversal in this box, somewhere in this box here. And it looks like I'm getting it today. If you already understand candlesticks, you know that this is looking like it's going to form a hammer or a doji or whatever. If you don't know candlesticks, relax. We'll take you through them. It just means that the market gives us a signal that it's going to go the other way. That is not enough for me, but it looks like it's trending in my direction. It may take yet another day for this to fully play out. So if this candle doesn't close as a full hammer or doji, meaning I want to see it almost flatten from the top so that there's a long wick. Like this is an example of what I'm looking for, this candle here. You know, something like that, where there's a long wick at the top and very little body down at the bottom. That's a good sign of a reversal. When you see that on OR, there's another sign of a reversal here where one candle goes up all the way, comes down, then the other candle takes price below the open of the top candle. Once that happens, if that happens at some point, that will happen in my opinion. I may be wrong, waiting for confirmation at some point this week. If that happens, then we drill down to a 1 hour chart. Let me get rid of that. That circle there is too big on a 1 hour chart. So delete. Right, so on a 1 hour chart, this is what it looks like. This is that box that we drew on a daily chart. That magic box on a daily chart. This is it on a 1 hour chart. And what do you know? Price has already broken structure again. So we see the structure break on the higher time frame, and we wait for it again on the lower time frame. So we saw the structure break on a higher time frame days in advance. It tips our hand, price is going south. But you see, even though we knew price was going south here, it still went up for days. If you'd bought down here, put your stop loss up here, and waited for price to get here, you probably would make money over the next month. But you would be sat down in this trade the better part of a month to get your profit. And you would have entered at a poor price. Here would have been a very poor price. Banks don't trade like that. Banks like what we call premium pricing, like a discount. Now, how many of you understand, type in yes if you understand that if you are trying to get down here, so this is my target, this line here. Would you rather be entering here or up here? So type in lower or higher in the group. If you're taking the trade to this purple line here, do you want to start off here or start off at the top here? Type in your answer. Someone says top, good, at the top, excellent. Everybody understands it should be at the top. Mandras, you've got a question. Type in your question. I'll answer it while I'm talking. Exactly. Andrew said because it means more profit. So why buy the Mars bar for 10 pounds and sell it for 20 when you can buy it for 5p and still sell it for 20? So you wait for the confirmation. Now, on the 1 hour chart, I see my market structure break. So price was going up. Look at this. Price was going up all this way. And all the while it was going up, I've been sitting down waiting for this trade to play out because I knew it should give me a short somewhere in this box. Now, what do you know? Somewhere in the box, while price was going up, it hit a high. I won't tell you what this is a beautiful pattern here, but I don't want to break your brains. But this is when you see this happen, you know, we'll talk about this in a few months. But this is a special kind of market structure break. It's a beautiful market structure break. It's a market structure break that tells me with a high probability something's happening here. We see price takes out this low here. That's my signal for a short. Now I know this trade is going to set up any time now. So I'm going to draw another magic box, another demand zone. Again, if you don't know what this is, don't panic. Just take it at surface value. We'll cover it over the next few days. We'll put some information about this in the Slack for you to read up on it yourself as well. Now, there's 2 ways to trade this, or there's 3 ways to trade this. And I'm going to show you how you can take a swing trade, an intra-week trade or intraday trade, and a scalp of this same setup. So if you like swing trading, I got you. You like intraday trading, I got you. You're a scalper, I've got your back as well. Same setup. Now, notice how we got here. I want to go over this again. And you know what? I'm only going to do this pair today. We'll post some analysis in the Slack group because I want you to get this one because you can internalize it yourself. We have established a directional premise of a higher time frame. Of the daily time frame, we believe price should be going down. Somebody say yes if you follow that. So of the daily time frame, we believe price should be going down. Good. We've come down to that's our higher time frame. We've come down to our execution time frame, and we're looking for a short on our execution time frame. We've had opportunities for longs, but we've ignored them because we want to be in sync with the overall direction. And we've seen our signal that tells us price in this range is looking for a short. So now our execution time frame is in line with our higher time frame. Now let's look at this as a swing trade, meaning off the daily. Like I said, you could have just shorted the market here. When you saw this happen here, you could have shorted the market here, put your stop loss. Let me show you how we do this. You put your stop loss all the way up here. So this would have been, the green line would have been your entry. The red line would have been your stop loss. So if you put your stop loss here, you'll have had a 487 pip stop loss. That says 4,874, but remove the last digit for the number of pips. I'm sure Toby, I don't know if Toby has covered this yet, but a pip is how we measure price movements. We'll talk about this in more detail. And a month later, you would have made some money down here, but you would have sat down through all this drawdown. Drawdown means your account is in negative before it goes into positive, hopefully. So many times in a trade, before you make money, you see your account go the other way. And many of you will panic for the first time and say, oh Lord, I'm losing my money, and you'll do crazy things. And then you close the trade thinking, I've closed with a small loss. A day later, the trade goes to your take profit, and you're cursing at somebody. This is how you can swing trade effectively without taking too much drawdown. So you're still expecting price to go down, but wait for a high probability moment by drilling down one time frame. So you could right now, as we are right now, you could enter this trade right now, or wait till it gets to this box, this white box here, right? This is on an hourly time frame. And if you put your stop either one of two places, you could put it at the top of this box here, because our informed guess is we expect this box to hold price. We don't expect price to go too far into this box or even above the box. If price breaks this box, then our analysis is broken down. And it's okay for analysis to break down. Everybody gets it wrong. Or if you're ultra conservative, you could put your stop loss at this top here, meaning you have all the way to get up to here before you lose the trade. Even if you did that, because you're entering here rather than there, it means you will make this amount of profit as part of your trade. So you have an extra 250 pips that's going into your profit bag as opposed to drawdown you're making back up. Meaning your trade went the wrong way, you lost 250 pips, but because you hadn't hit your stop loss, you have a chance to make it back. So the swing trade is put your stop loss either there or here, and put your target down somewhere around here. I don't have time to explain why my target's here. This will make sense to you in coming days and weeks if you don't. Now, let's look at the hour to hour in this. Like Toby said, let's look at the hour to hour in this. We've got this amazing tool which we'll give you for free because you are part of our family now. It helps you instantaneously calculate your risks to reward. If I put my stop loss there, so that's the red line, that's my stop loss. And I entered right now where we were right now. If price goes to my target, which a swing trade will take weeks usually, at least 2 weeks to fulfill, sometimes 3 or 4. And swing trading is the name we use for trading the daily chart, for those of you who don't know what a swing trade is. So just follow us for now with the blanks and we'll fill them in over the next few weeks. By the time we get to my target, we would have done more than 4 to 1. And I'm actually tempted to take this trade as a swing trade. Because swing trading means you don't need to check your charts every other day, every other week. So every other second of the day, sorry, every other moment. It means you can look at your chart pretty much once a day and see what's going on. It also means that because it'll take longer for your stop loss to be hit, you have longer to figure out you made a mistake. You should still not be risking more than 2 or 1% on your stop loss. So on a swing trade, your stop loss should be 1% or 2%. On an intraday trade, it should still be the same. So this is an 87 pip stop loss, as you can see here, 87.3 pips, which for a swing trade is very good. For those of you who traded for a while, you know that a stop loss of 80 pips on a swing trade is phenomenal. It is absolutely phenomenal. And if price just goes, let's see, this is the beauty. If price just goes back to where it has already come, you'll make 4 to 1. And for risking $830, you'll make 2,000. Well, that's 3 to 1, $2,495. How many of you want to make 3 to 1 on your first trade? If I could guarantee you 1 trade a week where you triple your risk, and you took 1 trade a week for the next year, tripling your risk. How many? Oh boy, my WhatsApp keeps coming up. I'm trying to get to somewhere else. There we go. How many of you would? Wonderful. That would be nice. Exactly. So that is the swing trade of this same analysis. Now let's look at an intra-week trade, meaning something to expect to fulfill a lot quicker than a swing trade, meaning you expect to be in and out of the trade within a week. Like Toby said, usually most weeks you get the most movement between Tuesday and Friday. There are trades today like the GU trade we looked at on a Monday which you'll miss, and that's fine. But on an intra-week trade, I would wait for price to go into this box I've drawn here. Let me blow it up a little bit. Right? And I will put my stop loss anywhere between 5 and 10 pips above this high, because the market makers like to do crazy things. How many of you have put a trade, put your stop loss exactly there. The market just nicked your stop loss and then gone and made an imaginary profit which you would have had if it didn't nick your stop loss. If that's happened to you, say yes. You know, one of the ways you can avoid that is by having a buffer. So I'm going to put that same tool again here. This time my stop loss be 19, let's call it 20 pips actually. So let's see. Here is, let's make that 22 pips. So my stop loss is 22 pips. And now you can see that my 4-to-1 fulfills a lot quicker. In the same 89 or so pips as I would have done a 1-to-1 in my swing trade, I will get a 4-to-1 on my intra-week trade. Now, because it is an intra-week trade, looking at the structure of this chart, and again, I'm not going to explain that. Look for this trade to give me a 3-to-1 before I bank it. So thereabouts. That's still 3-to-1, right? If I made my stop tighter, 4-to-1 very quick. But I just want to be careful. I want to give myself room. So this will probably happen at some point tonight or very early tomorrow morning. It would mean that my entry would be here. My entry would be there at 1.00947. You can write this down if you want and test it on a demo account. Please, if you aren't trading live already, test this on the demo account. First, my entry would be 1.0094. My stop loss would be 1.01165. And my take profit would be 1.00293. You can see off my chart. I'll type this up and put them in a Slack group with a picture. Let me take a screenshot of this so I can send it to the Slack group for you to look at in your own time. When price gets into this box, wait for it to make a reversal, a candlestick pattern, for those of you who know what those are already. So wait for it to show you that it's being rejected by that zone. So if it goes in there and it gives an engulfing or a doji or you know, whatever candlestick pattern you like, that's even better. Then you can trade it, put your stop up there, and then, you know, look for one of these targets to come out at. Now, the highest probability trade with this would be a scalp, because I can almost guarantee that when price gets into this box, even if this intra-week trade loses, even if price comes all the way up here, blows out our stop, which is only 1% for us, so we can live with that, you know, the high probability scalp is, let me take this away, somewhere in this zone, this white zone here, price will give me a candlestick pattern. Let me give you an example. Before this formed today, this was the zone I was looking at here, right? Now, I didn't take this because I hadn't seen a market structure break yet. So I didn't trade this today. When price went in here today, I didn't trade it today because it hadn't broken structure here. Can you see what happens here when price makes this reversal, this candlestick pattern? You see what happens here? This is a one-to-one scalp, very high probability. If price goes to a zone you're expecting a reversal, and remember that's our third question, what's first price coming from, where is it going to, what's it likely to do along the way? Along the way, if price makes a candlestick pattern in your directional premise, there's a high probability that if you scalp it 1-to-1, you'll win the trade. So, example of a candlestick pattern here. See prices going down, then it makes a reversal here. This bearish candle is engulfed by the bullish candle. Take that away so you can see it here. This trade, put my stop loss down here, just beneath high or the low of that pattern. And if I'd scalped this 1-to-1, I would have hit my target here. Now, you can make a living scalping 1-to-1. It means you get more trades every day if you like trading, numerous times. You in, you're out quickly. You don't wait for the market to do too many long things. You just want to go in, come out, bank your money, go quick. I'm expecting a candlestick pattern somewhere in this white box. A doji or an engulfing or something of that nature. If I get that candlestick, I'll scalp it, or I could scalp it 1-to-1. You put your stop loss beneath, in this case, it would be beneath the top of the candlestick pattern, and you make a 1-to-1 risk to reward, or you could do 2-to-1. We'll talk about more advanced strategies like closing half your trade, moving your stops to 0, letting the rest ride. But for now, just think of a scalp as 1-to-1. And so if I put $800 on the table on a candlestick pattern here tomorrow morning, I'll make $800 more than likely, and then I can close the trade and move on to another pair. So you can see how with the same analysis, starting from a daily time frame, we've worked out a swing trade. So our swing trade, again, let me take shots of this as I'm closing this down so I can send to you. Our swing trade would be, our entry would be 1.00915, where we are now. Our stop loss would be 1.0177. Our take profit would be 0.9833. That's our swing trade. Our intra-week trade, which I've shown you already, I've taken a screenshot of that. I'll send that to you. Would be to wait for confirmation in this box, put our stop above that high over there, and hopefully get out for a 3-to-1 somewhere around here. Our scalp, this gives us a reversal pattern, if it does here, to put our high above that pattern. We don't know where it's going to be, so I can't give you an entry for the scalp yet because I don't know what price will do when it to the next pair. If you internalize that, please say yes. Feel free to ask questions on the Slack group. I will take a few moments tonight before I sleep if you have any questions on that analysis to answer your questions in the student analysis section of the Slack group. But if you gain something from that, please give me some feedback. Say yes or good, or just say rubbish, that was nonsense, and I'll go cry in my tea. So at some point tomorrow, it could even be this night, we're expecting USwiss to give us some of those setups. Okay, so that's good. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to hand over to Toby now. Toby, you can take the session back over to close with whatever we need to close with.
All right, guys. Thank you very much, Israel, for that time. I hope you managed to glean as much as you can from that analysis. Very important that we learn how we analyze the markets effectively. And also I think what we're trying to do is give you an understanding not just of our technique but our philosophy. How we think about the markets is the reason why we're successful in the markets. It's not just the technique, it's what we see when we see the charts that others aren't seeing. So please do some of the assignment that we've already sent, which is defining your goals, defining your why, defining your financial goals. Send those to the group. Let's share them. Maybe your goal might inspire someone else's goal. So please share it. Also, if you want, in the student analysis section, You can post, if you've got any pictures that you can take on your phone of market structure break, anything that we've talked about. Maybe you can say, well, I've just drawn a demand box. Is this good? Or I've drawn a supply zone. Is this right? Or I've seen market structure break here. Is this correct? Draw that in the student analysis and post it there. In the general tab is for questions, and only we are allowed to post in Signal, so please do not post in the Signal section. And please also try and unmute your Slack app. It should alert you when you get a message or a text. It is important when you receive it. If you want to mute the other channels like general or whatever, that's fine, but please do not mute Signals, because that's where we'll be sending you some of the trades that we are going to be in ourselves. So without further ado, hope you have a good night. Please do message in the group if you got any further questions. Bye-bye.